Scarlets, which is obviously the home of the Scarlets. And often when you speak to people about sport in Carmarthenshire, you know, the first thing they talk about is rugby. And so it should be in some ways, but I think people forget, you know, how much football is played in Carmarthenshire. We have people here from the Carmarthenshire League, the West Wales and so on, and I think it's great that for the first time, probably for a long time, the Carmarthenshire Schools football is now being, you know, presented in the way that it is. And I think that goes mainly down to people who invited me here tonight, like Kieran Davis, Jonathan Garcia, and the rest of the Carmarthen Schools Committee. Okay, they are starting to put schoolboy football in Carmarthen back on the map. Okay, which I think is very, very important, and it's great to see. But people, you know, you can talk about famous rugby players in Carmarthenshire, but it's surprising when I look back, you know, at how many great footballers Carmarthenshire over the years, you know, have come forward with. And I may throw a question out to you in a minute. Okay, I'll think of, you know, a couple of people from around here. Obviously Wyndham Evans, you know, who obviously played for the Swans, you know, from the 4th division up to the 1st division when John Toshak was manager. Glenn Leveran, the goalkeeper. But when I looked at it, there was only a small number of players. Those two never actually played for Wales in the full international cap. But I worked out that there were 5 players who played football for Carmarthenshire Schools and went on to play full international football. Now there may be more, and hopefully perhaps somebody here can come up with somebody else. Okay, so we'll see how clever some of you are now, particularly some of the older gentlemen sitting in the front here, who can name one of those players who played football for Carmarthenshire Schools, just like these boys are now, who went on to play for Wales. Sorry? Matthew Jones, correct. I spoke to Matthew this morning, because Matthew went to school in Morva Primary, down the road, went to Coica, played for Welsh Schools, and then obviously went to Leeds and played for the senior Welsh team. And a story I always like to tell about Matthew is, because I had just started coaching with the Welsh Schools international team at the time, we played Switzerland in a game, and Matthew used to play for Seaside as a junior. And they had a manager that probably some of the local people who know, Colin Thomas, Colin Bach, okay, who took that side, and he came up to watch the game up in Cardiff, and Wales beat Switzerland 2-0. And Matthew scored 1 goal, and a boy called Alex Davis from Llanelli scored the other goal. So Colin came running across the pitch after he said, "There we are, Martin, I told you, Switzerland 0, Seaside 2, he said." And that's how committed he was. But yeah, Matthew Jones is one. Matthew apologises for not being here tonight, but he works with me in the academy, and he takes the under-16 side, and they have their parent interviews, parent reviews tonight. So he sends his apologies for not being here. Okay, we have 1 out of the 5.
Terry Boyle?
Correct. Terry Boyle, who went on to play for Spurs, Crystal Palace and Wales, now working for Hull up in the north of England. Terry Boyle, good. 2. Wrong. From Pembrokeshire.
Yeah, we played for the bridge school.
Not Carmarthenshire. Don't count. Just because you're the mayor of Carmarthen, it doesn't mean you can try to be clever, right? Right? Right, okay. We don't want to be here too long. Right, okay. If anybody can have a think about it, come and see me after. Otherwise, we will go on and on. But what I'm trying to say to you, lad, to you boys, okay, all those players started off playing for the school, the club, and for the county. in Carmarthen Schools. So I don't see any reason that in 10 years down the line, you know, the same thing will happen to one of you. Okay? Okay, and then what I will do now is introduce as well, I brought a player along, again, who represented Swansea schoolboys, but he nearly represented Carmarthenshire because he did go to school in Pontyddulais Comprehensive School, which isn't far from the border on the Carmarthenshire border. So another mile or two, Joe, you'd have been a Carmarthenshire player. But Joe typifies for us in the academy at Swansea what it is all about. He came to the academy when he was under 9, went all through the age groups, and is now obviously a regular in the first team. But at the same time, he always played schoolboy football. Played for his school, he played for Swansea schoolboys. His school, Pontyddulais, represented Wales in the British under 14 championships for Pontyddulais school. His first international cap wasn't for the FAW, it was for the Welsh schools under 18 team when he was 16, which I know John Dacier will talk a little bit more about later. And like I say, next week he's off to a training camp with Ryan Giggs with the national team. But all that time, when he was younger, he always played schoolboy football. So I know Joe's going to come up later to present the boys, you know, with their medals and their trophies and what they're receiving tonight. But another example for the young lads of somebody, as I say, who's played schoolboy football all the way through and has now gone on to play, obviously, for Swansea City and for the senior Welsh team. Okay, so I'm sure you'll give him a big round of applause when he does come up later on. We've also brought a Swansea City shirt, which is going to be raffle or whatever you're doing with them, yeah? So whoever wins that, if you go over to Joe afterwards, I'm sure he'll sign the shirt for you and put on the shirt whatever you want. Okay? Anyway, enough from me. Thank you for inviting me. It looks as if it's going to be a great night for everybody, and hopefully, you know, this will happen on an annual event, and enjoy the evening.
Well, thank you, Martin. I think they were very inspirational words there, and I hope to inspire you for the future. Okay, rydyn yn nawr yn barod I ddathlu ac I gyd nabod y gwaith da ydych chi fel pobl ifanc, fel bechgyn a merched yn eich gwneud yn eich ystod y tymor. So we are now ready to celebrate and reflect on your season's achievements. And we are fortunate again, as we just heard, that Joe Roden is here from Swansea City, and Joe will come up here to present you with your awards as well. Felly, I ddechrau, I'd like to call upon Joe and the Under-11s coach, Mr. Kieran Davies, to the stage, please.
Okay, thank you all. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for attending tonight's dinner. It's nice to see so many people here, and especially after years and years of trying to get Carmarthen Schools on the map, as Martin said, and to see some of these boys started off at 4 or 5 years old now coming through all the way into the Carmarthen Schools. Regarding the Under-11s, we started off with some trials. The trials process was with Carmarthen District, Llanelli District, Myddin Mawr and Denefw District, with over 300 players attending the trial, and we managed to whittle it down to a squad of 26, I think. Throughout the season, we were really unlucky. We invested a lot this year in some of the under-10s, ready to play next year as well. And we found ourselves on the wrong end of some results after some good performances from the odd goals from set plays and physicality, with some of the boys not being used to playing on a full-size pitch. Set plays and physicality played a part. Unfortunately, we got the wrong result. But we finished third in the group, but we were unlucky not to go through to the national festival. And for me, the boys have been outstanding this year. The commitment has been good. We've got, with the primary schools, we've got boys from Lampert area, Newcastle Emlyn, Carmarthen, St Clair's, and all our competitive games are in Collisgar. So I'd like to thank all the parents for their commitment throughout the season, because a fine Friday night, where there's sunny and Friday morning, but by Friday night I'm sure it's going to be raining. So thanks for your commitment for all the games. What I'm going to do now, what I'm going to do is, if the under-11s like to come up for their awards, but how we're going to do it is that all the under-11s are going to come around here, and Joe's going to present them over here then. Okay guys, so can I have a big round of applause for the under-11s players? Would you like to come up to get your trophies? Okay, we're moving on. We've got some individual prizes to give out. What we've got with the under-11, slightly different to the under-12s and above, is that we have two teams with the under-11s, which majority of them stay in separate teams. So we got Player of the Year and we got Player of the Year. Now we're going to announce Player of the Year first. We've got two people for this award. So first Player of the Year goes to one of the younger players in the squad who's been outstanding. He's a solid player in midfield that keeps the team together. And the winner of the under-11s, Carmarthen Schools Player of the Year, goes to Harry Jones. one of the other teams player of the year. This person, at the start of the trial process, when we were talking about the 300 odd trialling out, was unsure about the player, to be honest, and throughout the season he's become a really important figure. Someone who keeps possession of the ball in midfield and does really well. And the winner of the player of the year is Jack Morgan. Unfortunately, Jack isn't here today, so we'll find a way to get the award to him. Moving on to Players Player of the Year. We've got two again. These two awards goes to people who work hard for their team. The players have voted for them. One's really quiet, but does the job really well. He drives the team forward. So this year's Players Player of the Year goes to... Sorry guys. Martin's doing some other... I don't know what he's doing here. He seems to be looking away in the background. I just glad it wasn't me. Okay. Sorry for that. So this year, two Players Player of the Year goes to Cleavon Evans and Sean Davis. Well done, guys.
We move on to the under 12 squad. Could Mr. Sean Lewis, the coach, come to the stage, please?
Great to see so many people here. And again, what's been said, you know, supporting Carmarthen Schools and for the boys, obviously. It's an honour to see you here and for you to be representing your county at this level. The season, looking at the season, I would say it's been a great season. The commitment from the assistant coach wasn't great. I had many parents asking me, well, where's Kieran? What's happened? He's disappeared. We haven't seen him. Well, now we all know where he's been. He's been in Parker Scarlet sorting out this dinner for everyone. So I think a big round of applause for Kieran, everyone. Also, I'd like to say a big thank you to two people that have helped me out significantly this year. Justin, stand up Justin. Justin has helped me out with the coaching. And obviously the person that's kept it going for us more than anything, which most of you don't see because she works tirelessly behind the scenes, trying to organise, you know, the dates, the fixtures, how we got availability of enough players, rearranging as and when necessary. And again, that's for Linos. Linos, stand up, please. Stand up, come on. Well done, thank you very much, Linos. Appreciate that. These organisations don't work unless we've got people like that in the background that are willing to put their give up their time and help out. Anyway, moving forward to the season, it's been a great season for us. Played 7. Should have played 8, but unfortunately time got away from us and we failed to get that one fixture in. But we played 7, we won 4, lost 3. We could argue, but we won't, and say it was the referee's decision, but that goes by the way. But for a side that I've been involved with now for the last 3 years, we've qualified every time. This year, no exception. We managed to finish high enough in our group to go through to the semi-finals, and we came up on that day against a very polished Cardiff side who were really up for it. They got off to a flying start, scored a couple of quick goals, and unfortunately it was catch-up and we failed to do what we wanted to do, and we ended up losing to the better side on the day. But, you know, I thought from the point of view of progression, throughout the season the boys have really moved forward. They've taken the game on and they've really tried hard, and they've worked really well as a unit. They've been a close unit, they've worked for one another, there's been no complaints, they haven't criticised one another, which can happen sometimes when you get on the side where you're losing significantly. But on the whole, even when we were losing, they dug deep to try and do what they need to do. So, well done, boys. So if you'd all like to come out, like we did with the under-11s, to collect your rewards. Yeah, like just go on then, go boys.
What's on the deck is one would be more recent than Matthew. And one would be probably more sort of body Did they go on to play for Wales? Because there was quite a lot of boys up west. Martin Davis, see you in this Larry is a diving. I don't think so. One side, well, one state player.
Sorry, a tenere.
Okay, right. Moving on to the individual awards. The first award that we'll do is the Manager's Player of the Year. For me, this person throughout the season has played with huge commitment, has never questioned anything that I've asked him to do. He's always given 100% and been fully committed, and always come over afterwards and has said thank you to me, which, you know, as a coach, it's all about respecting not only the coaches, the managers, but also the referees, and thanking the referees. And this young man has been exceptional. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight, but the award goes to Matthew Jones. And then my final award goes to the Player's Player. Again, this year, it could have gone to any number of players, which is testament to how close as a group you all are and how much you think of one another, which goes a long way, because you haven't all just gone, I'll vote for my friend, or I'll just give it to whoever I think everyone else is going to give it to. It's been really good, and as I said, it's really great because you're such a tight bunch of lads that play for one another. But this year, this person has played, I think, in every game. He's been, again, a very good, consistent player. His actions on the field are very good. He doesn't question, he doesn't challenge overly, whereby he's challenging the referee. He will ask, but no more than that. So this year, the Player's Player is Ollie Lloyd. And then, thank you very much. Shall I drop?
Nesaf, mi fydd yn edrych ar y garfan 13, and Mr Stuart Thomas is one of the under 13s coaches. So please come on up on stage, please, Stuart. He's making his way now.
Diolch yn fawr. I'm not sure why Kieran's put us closest to the bar, but I know it's all in the 13 pence by the bar, so I'm not sure why that is, but I'll have to have a word with him later. Coaches for the under-13s this season, myself, Kerry Davis and Kieran. So Kieran's been busy this year, he's got about 3 age groups. Despite the coaches, the boys did very well this year. The team finished 4th in a very competitive group. There's some big associations at the under-13s from the whole of South Wales, so you're playing teams from Newport, Cardiff, Swansea, so we were one of the smaller ones, so we done really well. We narrowly missed out on the semi-finals by 1 point. In fact, it was the last game of the season. Newport and RCT, unfortunately RCT couldn't do us a favour and Newport qualified for the semis instead of us, but we were only a point short, so it was a really good season. We beat Newport, had a very good win against RCT, who were one of the strongest associations. We had some frustrating draws as well. We drew to Swansea, no offence, Joe. We should have beaten them. We drew to Bridgend as well away. It was a tough game, and probably the most frustrating one was against Caerphilly, where it was 0-0. We just couldn't score. I mean, fine margins, boys, isn't it? You know, you get a goal there, we'd have qualified to semi-finals. The only game we lost was against Carmarthen Schools, and as Sean's mentioned, that, you know, they are a different sort of level at the minute. They're very strong, they're very well organised. And like Carmarthen, I think they train 2 or 3 times a week. And I know for a fact in the 13th, we haven't trained at all together this season. So to turn up and win games and be competitive and finish 4th in a group is a real testament to the boys' character and how they performed this season. For the first time ever, I think, there was a under-13s Welsh team, a schools team. And because of their performances throughout the season, many of the boys were selected for that trial. And we were lucky enough, or not lucky enough, fortunate enough to have one of our players actually selected for our Welsh Schools team. And I think that's, you know, it's a fantastic achievement for Carmarthen, but it's also a fantastic achievement for one young man, Levi Morgan. So I think we should all give Levi a round. Levi actually played his first game for Wales against, I think it was it Bristol Rovers under 14s, Levi? Yeah, and Levi played for 60 minutes. So that's fantastic for him and, like I say, for the association. And I'm sure we all, you know, want to wish him well for the remaining fixtures, especially the game against England. So hopefully you can get one up on the old enemy. I've just got a few thank yous to make. Us as coaches, we turn up, we coach the boys and we cheer them on, but I think without the team managers, it just doesn't work, to be honest. And just a special thanks to Rhian Furlong and Fiona Davis, who organise all the games for us, liaise with all the opposition team managers, and I think we'll all agree do a fantastic job. So just thank you, Rhian, and thank you, Fiona. I'd also like to thank the parents, because it's, you know, we're based in Carmarthen and a lot of the games is in Newport, Cardiff, all over South Wales, so it's a big commitment, and sometimes, you know, we're playing games at 6 o'clock in the evening on a weekday, so parents are taking time off work to drive you guys throughout South Wales, you know, and they're always really supportive, they're always really vocal, which is great, so I just want to give the parents a massive thank you for all the support of the season. Just finally, a big thank you to the players. You know, their hard work and commitment throughout the season has been fantastic. It's made our job as coaches, you know, easy, to be honest, to have such a great group of boys playing for us. You know, they never give up. They always battle. They work hard for each other, and you know, I'm just really proud to have coached you over this last season. So thank you guys, appreciate it. All right. So I think if you want to come up and get your team awards. Right, okay, on to the individual awards. So same as the other 12, we've got 2 awards. So we've got the coaches Player of the Year, and we've got Player of the Year. So the first award goes to a player who's been with Carmarthen Schools for 2 or 3 seasons now. He's probably the most versatile player in the squad. Never has a bad game, to be honest with you. Always there, always giving 100%. And I'm really pleased that it's Harry Howells this year. Right, on to Players Player of the Year. As we know, voted for by the players, so it probably means a little bit more than the coach's opinion, I think, because it's your own teammate. So on the other side, this is a player who's only joined us this year, and he's really impressed all the coaches, and obviously he's impressed all his teammates as well. He's been brilliant all season, to be fair to him. And Players Player of the Year goes to Levi Morgan. I think Martin's got for Levi as well. Martin? Yeah. So yeah, we've got an extra sort of award for Levi. Oh, Levi's. It's for you.
Thank you very much. I apologise for the technical glitch that happened behind me. I'm not quite sure why it's my screensaver, but maybe it's motivation getting into my old age, you know, at 23. It's catching up with me a bit, you know. I don't know if I can speak for yourselves, but the under-14s, it's my first year in Carmarthen Schools, so I'm very thankful for Kieran and John. Had a conversation and they allowed me to come on board, and maybe I was through my links with one of the academies with this age group, so it was a perfect fit. Our season, well, if you look at the league table at the end, we were 3 points from making the semis, which wasn't one of our targets was to get there, so we did fall short, but the performances, the determination,
the effort, you couldn't have felt it. It was unbelievable. This is considering we've got 4 players who aren't even in academies, 2 of them who aren't even playing football at the moment, and they're choosing to play rugby, which there's no issues with that. But that just showed the camaraderie, the teamwork together, to pull together, Connectley, Carmarthen, Academy, put that rivalry apart to the side and come against some pretty good schools teams. It was, we had the first game against Swansea at home. I honestly couldn't believe my eyes. We were 4-1 up, right? Very thankful to Ellis Price, who came and played for us in goals, because I didn't have a goalie. Took a bang to the head first, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes in. I thought I was going to have to put an outfield player in goals, but we did our HIA check and all of that, and he kept us in the game first half. Unbelievable save. 4-1 up, and then it's left last 10 minutes we concede 3 goals and 4-4. But considering they've now gone on and won the schools competition under 14s, maybe on reflection it was a good result. The only game we weren't in a winning position was against Caerphilly, which was an off day, but it was pleasing to be in those positions considering we got a team that don't really play as much together at club level. Got a few rivalries, but looking for the positives is next year, competitive football under 15s. I'm expecting everyone to be there on Sunday for the trials. And who knows what we can achieve next season if we can stick together. I think if we go on to the team, I think a big person for me is Ben Walters. Okay, I started this off on my own and brought someone in who wasn't quite as reliable as I would have thought, and Ben helped me out a lot. And we only had 2 wins this season, right? And it was both when Ben was there and I wasn't, so maybe that says quite a lot as me as a coach, right? But he came in without any questions. I couldn't make it for other commitments, and I'm very grateful. So can I give a round of applause, please, to Ben? My last one is, I don't like to sing about players, but goes to Sonny. Under 13s, like Alice, he stepped up, but Sonny played in, I think, every game bar the first one, perhaps. He came up to Cardiff and Vale, I think, one day, notice, came and actually scored in that game against probably one of the strongest schools teams, and that just shows the kind of player he is, and I'm looking forward to watching him develop with the under 14s next year, and potentially we can look at him again playing up a year. He proves himself in the trials. So, but thank you very much to all the players, to parents. We've had all the furthest away trips this season, which I apologise for, but if you're on board next year, you can look forward to those being at home. But thank you very much, and please can I have all the players come up? So we'll go on to a manager's player first. From the season, a lot of people have stepped up throughout, regardless of what game it was. When we were underdogs quite often, but there is one player who he would honestly take a ball from his own goal line and go and score. It's getting a bit ridiculous, if I'm honest. I can't follow him. He'd go and play wherever I told him to go and play. It's all or nothing. It's 100%. It's exactly what I wanted. So manager's player was Jack Waters. For players player, obviously voted by the players, and he's gonna hate coming up again, but Jack Walters, player.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks, boys. Congratulations. Congratulations for you. Okay, we've seen enough boys maybe for a night, and it's now time for the girls. So, to welcome Dave Elias, who's going to reflect on the girls under 15 season.
Good evening, thank you. We've not had much mention of the girls tonight, but they have played their part in football, not just this season, but over the last 4 or 5 seasons representing the county. And we've got some very, very strong players and talented group that we've been fortunate enough to bring through. The season was one of a missed opportunity, I think, really. We were beset by injuries on a number of occasions, and we had to play a lot of players out of position. But we do have players in the squad, very capable players, some of whom have worn the Welsh badge, represented South Wales, having gone through the regional and the national pathway with everything, representing Swansea, and representing the schools, playing a lot of football. We've got a match on Saturday. There's a schools final, which Carmarthen are playing in the Welsh Cup final for the schools. So the girls are very strong. Some of you may or may not know some of the girls because they have been playing in the boys' league. They thought this would be a good way to intensify their game and maybe feeling a little bit in awe of the boys' game initially. I've won awards with the boys because of their strength, their determination and the necessity to show that they're good enough. And I take my hats off to all of them. I think the squad I had this year, I could ask no more of. I know it's a rugby term, but every player did everything to the best of their ability that required no skill. They ran hard, they ran back, they chased, they pressed, and they were all very dogged. Mixed in with that, we had some very skillful players. We were unfortunate, beset by injury, that we didn't quite make the playoffs this year. We made them last year, and had we got there this year, I feel it's a missed opportunity, because the team that went through, which we were easily capable of beating, actually went 0-0, they drew the final and lost on penalties. So it was a missed opportunity, set by injury. Very unfortunate, but a very strong showing for women's rugby football in the future in these parts. I'd like to say thank you to Linos, who's taken all the rubbish off me this year. Can we have a quick round of applause for Linos, please? And I should expect express my gratitude to Flinos because he really has dealt with all the issues that I wasn't prepared to do anymore, having done it for 4 years. It's with great sadness that we're going to be losing some of the players because talented girls tend to be talented in too many sports, I feel, and the demands on them are such that they will drift at the games, unfortunately. So, as I said, we didn't quite make it this year, very unfortunately, but that's how it was. So, we don't have a full squad here tonight, unfortunately, but the girls that we have got here, if they would be prepared to come up, please, to accept your representative. And just quick reference to the individual awards. Coaches player, difficult to choose. Everyone gave everything. Some players gave a bit more because they got a bit more to give, but they still did everything they could. Very difficult one to work out, but some people were there to support me more than others. Through first day, setting stuff out, last day, clearing stuff up, flexibility, playing in different positions, outfield players playing in goals, playing in midfield, playing wide, playing up front. Coach's player, literally as well, actually is the coach's daughter, so Laurie Elias. And the player's player, tough one again, because we did have a quite close-knit squad. They play a lot of sport together, and they're like a family. Unfortunately, we couldn't split it, and we had two winners, and they're both here tonight, and that's Emily Thomas and Anna Heath. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Llongyfarchiadau ferched, da iawn chi. Thank you, Joe. You can now be seated. You can please come here. Okay, our next guest speaker plays a very important role within the association. Is Mr Jonathan Garcia. He's the Secretary of Carmarthen Schools and the Welsh National Under-18s Assistant Manager. Please come up, Mr Garcia.
Okay. I think the next couple of minutes, from my point of view, talking about the Carmarthen Association, the reasons what Keegan's trying to do, what I'm trying to do really, is it's a fantastic organisation we're involved with, the Welsh Schools, the part of the Welsh Schools. So going forward, the policy this year was the Welsh Schools at the national under-13s. Like earlier we heard earlier, we had one player in that squad, which was fantastic. In the national under-18s, same again. In our county, we had one player. Okay? So there's a bit of a message to all the players, right? Is, as a county association, you want the players that are aiming high, because from my point of view, we want to get more players involved in all these associations. There's never been opportunities there is now in football, right? There are all the things going on in the game at the moment. You're in schools football, and when you get to 16, then you've got college football, which is run by AOC at the moment. Then you've got, sorry, is that Bill? And then you've got Bucks football at university. So linked with education, with all the pathways at the moment, there's great opportunities for all our footballers in our area. From my point of view, that's why I'm involved in Carmarthen Schools Association, to try and get our players into these national sides, and to get to understand what's going on. Okay, that's important for me. We seem to forget about what's going on in the rest of Wales. Right? I think it's very important for the work Kieran does, and the work the coaches do in this Carmarthen Association is, when you go to play against Carmarthen Schools, all the big companies, we compete in, which is positive. So from the players' point of view, we need to start thinking, where can we go next? Okay? There's plenty of opportunities out there. Okay? The one thing I'll give advice on every player is, it's going to take a lot of hard work. Okay? It's all lucky football. One thing we're very lucky at the moment in the area, we've got Conchgar on a Friday night. Our fair play down links with Martin and Swansea. I've seen Roger down on a Friday night, scouting for Swansea City, most games. Okay? So every game we play in this association, the scouts are watching. Okay? It's the same when you get schools football, the scouts watching that. The same when you play Cardiff football, the scouts watching that. Okay? So we want our players to try and get that next step. It's very important. Right? So as parents, as you involved in this association, when it grows stronger and stronger next year, that's what our aims are. To try and get our players to understand and go to that next level. So it's important for us to try and grow the association. It's important for us to try and get people representing Carmarthen Schools in the new under-13s Martin organised this year, and also with the under-18s, and opportunities in the clubs as well. Okay, but that's what football's all about. You've got to accept that. That's what football's all about. Developing players to try and get them to understand. Okay, so from my point of view, I'm a Carmarthenshire person. Okay, I want to try and encourage us to get players to accept to aim high. Okay, but there's never been so many opportunities. Okay, from this presentation night tonight. Kieran Davis, last May, I think, May. So I tell you, but this massive idea you had trying to do some of this. And from my point of view, I do all the stuff behind the scenes, maybe. They'll help you along, trying to do whatever he wants me to do behind the scenes. But Kieran's a driving force, right? That's something we've got to accept, and it's fantastic. We're lucky in Carmarthenshire, okay, to have someone like Kieran. Without Kieran, this wouldn't be here today, okay? And that's something he's driven. I'm fair play to him. I've known Kieran since he was 15. Okay, he worked with me for 9 years. Okay, so when he gets something in his head, it happens. And I give him credit there, right? So from my point of view, I think we owe Kieran a massive round of applause. Also, another person that myself and Kieran will agree on this, who helps us a lot with this schools association. Kieran's been a personal mentor for me for the last 8-9 years, really, of meeting him, getting close to him. And now I spend maybe too much time with him. Okay? He's from originally this county, he's a Carmarthenshire boy. And I think what Martin did for us tonight, bring Joe from Swansea, shows the commitment he's got for Kieran and the commitment he's got for myself. So from my point of view, I just want to thank Martin and Joe for coming tonight. A big round of applause for them. The last thank you from myself is Stu. Stu runs the accounts. I told him just now, I'm looking forward to all the bills tomorrow coming through. He can sort that out tomorrow. But from my point of view, myself, Kieran and Stu have done quite a lot behind the scenes, plus the coaches, plus the team managers. But just a big round of applause for Stu for doing all the accounts. Okay, just the last thing for myself. I'll leave the last word to Kieran. So Kieran just come up here, I've got a small gift for Kieran. And like you say, from the players' point of view, let's aim high and let's try and drive the association to better things. Okay? So Kieran, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, John. That was good words. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, it's been a great evening. I've really enjoyed, and I hope you all have too. But before we could bring the evening to a close, him in the orphan, obviously we've got the raffle to draw. got some great prizes. A signed Swansea shirt, so whoever wins this then, take it over to Joe and then he can sign that for us. 2 Wales tickets, £30 voucher for a wrinkle room, a signed Ospreys ball, a bottle of Prosecco, and wine and glasses. Okay, so whoever comes up first come, first serve. I'm going to move on this very quickly now, so Donna Parkley? Yes? Come on up. Stefan Lewis. Alan. Sunny Jones.
Sunny, go on, happy go.
Gareth Jones, table 17. Wants to make sure it's his own table. Too many Gareth Jones in the room.
How many's left?
Okay, we move this on. Jay Jones. And the last prize, Neil Jones. He's been told a son and a parent. That's it. Okay. Wel, cyn i mi ddod ar noson i'r ben, mae yna ychydig o ddiolchiadau yn cael ei wneud ar rhan y pwyllgor. This brings the evening nearly to a close. With every event, we need to acknowledge and show our appreciation to some key people, although some have already been mentioned. The team managers are vital, the rheolwyr y tîm, aelodau'r pwyllgor, all of the committee members, all of the coaches, players and parents, also want to thank for their commitment. Diolch hefyd i Cyngor Sir Gar, thanks to Carmarthen County Council for their continued support with the venue this evening. Felly, llongyfarchiadau i bawb, congratulations to you all, a siwrne saff adre, safe journey and until next year. Diolch yn fawr.
Fi wedi bod yn part o'r ysgolion gyda si gyfyrddin awr ys 2-3 mlynedd, helpu gyda hyfforddi. Mae'r safon yn uchel. Wario tîm oedd gorau dros Cymru yr ysgolion eraill. Mae'n tipyn o safon. Mae'n challenge y boes, mae step lan o beth maen nhw'n gyfarwydd y wario ar dydd Sadwrn. A chi'n gweld boes gorau really, yn y sir sy'n wario gyda'i gilydd.
You know, it is crazy. You know, I think it was yesterday when I was this age, and yeah, like I say, you know, I love those days, and you know, all you did at that age is just want to play football, and yeah, like I say, you know, the boys, they love it, and you know, hopefully they continue to grow and get better for the future.
Oh, it's been a brilliant season, you know, all the boys been working together well, considering all of the games we've played, we've all stuck together and did really well.
Mae rhaid, mae highlight oedd chwarae yn erbyn Pemfro. O'n ni'n meddwl bod yn mynd i fod yn gêm agos, ond nathon ni chwarae nhw dros y cae gyd, a nath y boes dyfal parhau mewn agweddau, a nath pob un chwarae yn arbennig o dda.
Standard's been great. Like I say, we've had a great season, not as good as last season. We've been playing some good football, good standard. Opponents have been tough, but it's just we deal with it, get on with it.
To be totally honest with you, I think the process from start to finish has just been really simple. Communication has been absolutely fantastic. The opportunities it's given for the boys, not just from a trial experience, in terms of the opportunities given them from a school perspective to be able to step up, to come to the trial, come onto the pitch, show their skills, their ability, and how good they are. from a personal point of view as a parent, it's been absolutely fantastic for them, learning new skills, techniques, bonding, your coaching experience and making new friends, not just for the kids but as parents as well. So lifelong skills that'll set them up for life.
Hi all, hope you've enjoyed the Carmarthen Schools end of season dinner. It's been a pleasure to be part of it and I hope you've enjoyed. Looking forward to next season already, and I'd just like to thank Parc y Scarlets for the hosting today's event. Diolch yn fawr iawn.